Hi guys, Namaste, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about not the gym, though being in the gym has a purpose. I just wanted to talk about what has happened with me, with my family, with YouTube these past couple of months, why I haven't been making videos, and what my goal is kind of moving forward, hoping that you guys can help me be accountable. So, without wasting any further time, let's go. So, if you guys saw my last video, you guys would know that my family and I traveled to India in the month of November in the midst of the pandemic. And you guys could be asking, Avi, why did you decide to go to India in November during the pandemic and everything? Well, I was in between jobs, and before I joined my new job, I had about a month and a half of leave saved up. So I basically wanted to use up that time and go to India. Now, mind you, traveling to India during that time was not easy. You had to do RT-PCR tests, including IANA, as I mentioned in the video. You also had to upload a whole bunch of documents, a whole bunch of stuff, attesting that you do not have COVID and that you haven't had COVID, I think for like 90 days before your travel. So there was a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion. But again, in America, it is kind of uncommon, or it's not that frequent for someone to have, leave like that and not use it. So I thought might as well, let's just go. And yes, the trip to India was great. We had lots of fun. I unfortunately did not record anything while I was in India because I was too focused on spending time with family. I hadn't seen them for like 3 years. And just experiencing India with Emmanuel, Iana, and Marina, and what seemed like a paid vacation, I wanted to make the most out of it. So sorry for not recording or uploading any videos in relation to India, but that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about my trip to India and why that has landed me in the gym, though people who do go to India and enjoy India to its fullest need to come work out to lose some of the weight that we put on back there at home. But this is about what happened to me after I came back from India. All right, now I apologize if I seem out of breath and sweaty. I'm actually recording this video in between sets, so I don't want to lose the gains. But back to the point, I was traveling 2 weeks prior to Marina and all. I was traveling like mid-December. Marina and the rest of the family were coming at the end of December. I had to join my new job, but I also had to move our apartments. We were in the same community, just a different apartment. So I took it upon myself that while Marina and the kids are in India, I'll basically do the move. So I traveled, I think December 13th, from Calcutta to Qatar, from Qatar to Washington, and then I had to drive 5 hours or so from Washington to North Carolina. Mind you, I'm not blaming the kid whatsoever, but thinking back, the scenarios, I think that's the one that makes the most sense. But I had this kid in front of me, and throughout the entire flight, throughout the entire trip, I had my mask on, I was sanitizing my hand, taking all the necessary precautions. But this kid's mother had her arm in a cast, and she was having trouble entertaining him. So I volunteered. So I started playing and entertaining the kid, and he had a cold. He had a runny nose, he was sniffling. I didn't think much of it at that time, and I wasn't taking the extra precautions of sanitizing my hand and all that stuff. I wasn't wearing a mask all the time. So yeah, I landed in Washington and I started feeling horrible. Honestly, I told myself at the time that maybe it was because of the long journey that I took. Finished checking or doing security and got my bag. I got into my car and I started driving, and that's when I realized things were not normal. I Was having difficulty keeping myself on the road, and after about 2 hours into my drive, and mind you, I still had like about 3.5 hours left, I started feeling horrible. I decided to stop at a rest area. And for those of you who don't know, in America, they have rest areas, designated spots that you can pull over your car, use the restroom, their vending machines, take a break during your drive. And I was looking for a rest area, and I knew there was one coming up soon, but somehow I blanked out to where I was driving, and I think I had about 20 minutes left to go to the rest area. And next thing I know, I am at the rest area, parked in a parking spot that I usually don't, because usually when I stop at a rest area, I try to park as close to the vending machines as possible because I want to eat food. But I was like, hey, what am I doing in this spot? You know, what's going on? I also noticed that my windows were cracked a little bit to let air come through. And I think subconsciously something kicked in, survival instinct or whatever. But I knew at that time that this wasn't jet lag. I wasn't feeling good whatsoever. And somehow I pulled myself together and I started driving with the determination that I was gonna make it back home. And I told myself, maybe once I reach home, you know, take a good nap, get a good sleep, I'll probably start feeling well. So yeah, I come home, I get myself tested, and I come to know that eventually what I ended up having was both COVID and flu. At that time I had the flu, and for my conspiracy theorist out there, I just want to make it clear, you know, regardless of which side of the spectrum your opinion is, I did have both my vaccination shots. I wasn't eligible for the booster at that time because it was only for certain individuals, so I didn't get my booster. And here is the unfortunate part. I actually did not take my flu vaccine at that time. I thought that I was going to take the vaccine once I came back into the United States. And to think about it, that might have been a wrong move. But yeah, I had both COVID and flu. I think they called it Flurona, COVID flu, whatever you want to call it. It was not pleasant whatsoever. And that was probably one of the worst things I've experienced in my life. Not having Marina and the kids, especially Marina, around made things worse. I mean, going through all that alone was just horrible. I still had to move, remember? Luckily, I had some friends who helped me with that, but it was just nonstop, you know? My new job was also very accommodating. They saw my situation and they were like, you know what? Here's some reading material in regards to work. Read it whenever you can, if you can, no pressure. Also, given the fact that it was Christmas time, workload wasn't much, but again, not easy. That brings me to the point as to why I am recording this video in my community's gym. Well, being on literally what seemed like my deathbed at that time, I lost a lot of weight, I was weak, recovery took long, I think a good 2 to 3 months for me to start some sort of strength. I've always been the type of a person who found every reason in the book to not come to the gym. I would work out seriously for like a month, but then after a month, something would happen and I would convince myself not to work out anymore. It could be an injury, it could be some sort of mental obstacle, some sort of like, you know, crisis, or would seem like a crisis, and I would use that as an excuse to like stop. So during my recovery from COVID flu, Flurona, whatever you want to call it, I started asking myself, what if I was in better health? Now there's no data to prove it. It was mostly my own psyche, but I tried telling myself that maybe if I was in better shape, if I was in better health, the effects of whatever my body went through would have been less, or maybe my recovery would have been a little bit more faster, not the 2.5, 3 months that it took. Because not being able to feel myself for that long of a time took its toll on me mentally. Not being able to play with the kids, not being able to move about, and just struggling with every aspect of life. Yeah, it wasn't a fun experience. So I told myself that when I am able to get back into the gym, I am going to do everything possible to keep myself accountable, to not become inconsistent with my commitments to maintaining my health. I'll go on a diet, I'll come regularly work out. That's what I've been doing. And yeah, this YouTube video is to tell myself and to also say, to you guys that it's important to be healthy. I mean, that's something I always say towards the end of my videos, stay safe, stay healthy. So I just wanted to be someone who followed that motto. So yeah, gymming, I have tried during the course of this past month that I've been coming to the gym, some workout programs from some famous YouTubers, some fitness gurus on this wonderful platform that we have called YouTube. So I'll be doing some reviews. I've had to pay money out of my own pocket to do these programs, and it's taught me a lot about my body, how I think about weight, how I think about taking care of my health, and to do things the right way so that I can come back to the gym and do it every day consistently versus doing something wrong, especially during an exercise with the wrong posture and hurting myself and not coming back to the gym. So yeah, some fitness oriented videos coming out. Promise you I'm not going to be a gym bro, at least that's not going to be the goal, or a fitness influencer, at least not yet. So but yeah, we'll do some reviews. We are planning to travel, so that is going to be more of the videos coming out. So yeah, that was basically the reason why this channel had been absent, in hiatus for the past 3-4 months. I wasn't feeling myself mentally right, physically right to make videos, to put the effort into doing everything that goes into making, creating, uploading YouTube. But as we're back to maintaining and a healthier lifestyle, we're going to be back into making YouTube videos and sharing our life with you guys. So as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and remember, there's always more.